Hello there, people of the internet. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. So I've been checking out some of my father's guns, right? And in the process of checking out some of my father's guns, I've just kind of been going over some of the stories and whatnot that I have with some of these pieces. And this right here is a Mossberg 500. We have the wood stock and pump on it. And, well, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one other than the fact that my father has had this one for an incredibly long time. This is one of those that my father has had for basically my entire life. And I don't have a whole lot of trigger time on this particular shotgun. As a matter of fact, growing up, my choice of shotgun was the Remington 870, simply because he had several of these types of shotguns. He had several Mossberg 500s, and I always thought that, like, the bolt mechanism in this area of the shotgun, just the way that it operated, I always thought it was a little strange. And growing up, I definitely liked the sleek-looking nature of the Remington 870 in comparison to this one right here. I also liked how on the 870, the little tab that you press in order to open up the bolt was on the front of the trigger guard, so I could open it up nice and easy there. And I didn't have to finagle my way around the trigger guard to be able to open up the bolt. I also like how there was the push-button bolt safety of the Remington 870 as opposed to the Mossberg 500 here, which has a little switch on the back of the receiver that you push up and down in order to take the shotgun on or off of safe. I have a bunch of bugs out here flying all over my face. How do you like that? That is what you get for living in Florida. But this right here, this is chambered in both 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. It says 28-inch AccuChoke 12-gauge shotgun. I showed off a Maverick 88. This right here is like the more advanced version. Typically with the Maverick 88, those are going to cost typically around 200, maybe 250 bucks, depending on the model and condition of the shotgun that you're getting. Whereas something like this with the wood stock furniture and just whenever you were to get a Mossberg 500 like this brand new out of the box, it's going to cost more around 450 to 500 bucks. There are some perks. You get a much better quality safety. You get there's certain things with this shotgun that the Maverick 88 simply does not have, simply because the Maverick 88 is a more budget-oriented shotgun. One of the things I really like about the Maverick series, or not the Maverick series, the Mossberg 500 series, is that unlike the Maverick 88 series, the pump right here is actually customizable, and you don't have to in order to customize your pump, you don't have to completely take out the entire pump system. As a matter of fact, right here on the front of the pump, there's a little lock nut that actually holds the wood pump handle right here. I'm not quite sure what you would call that, but the wood pump handle right here, you take off this locking nut, and the pump handle itself actually slides off of the pump. And you can go ahead and throw on whatever style of pump handle you want. Now, you don't have to go through and disassemble the entire shotgun in order to make that happen. It is a more complex system, but that's why this shotgun is more expensive. So besides that, the same internal mechanisms other than the safety and whatnot, basically the same between the Maverick and the Mossberg. I have shoved my fair share of shells through this thing, but not all that much. As a matter of fact, I think that this shotgun was the first shotgun I've ever actually taken a game with. I remember way long ago, like a decade and a half ago, when I was just but a wee lad, the first time that I had killed a squirrel, I believe it was with this shotgun. And whenever I had taken out this squirrel, I made some discoveries. I used some number 8 shot to take out this squirrel, and it was just target loads, and I discovered just how much lead pellets would be in the meat. That didn't stop me from eating the squirrel. And I also discovered how uneasy I was at cleaning a carcass to be able to cook for food. And I'm much more capable and much more willing to do that nowadays. But man, growing up, I had this dead squirrel, and I was like, ah, man, it's actually kind of cute. I feel bad about killing this fuzzy little creature to, you know, eat. And I'm like, well, I took it out. May as well eat it. And I remember trying to take its head off, and I used an axe. And whenever I hit its head to try and take the head off with the axe, I hit like the middle of the head, instead of like where the neck is, where I was aiming, because I was just young and not all that accurate. And man, that was not a good sight. Like that, my first game catch was probably with this shotgun. I think that was the first thing I ever caught to be able to eat. And I think I used this shotgun right here. But this is a shotgun that my father had for, like I said, my entire life. And we have shot a shitload of stuff with this thing. We have clay pigeons. We would fill like water bottles and old beer cans and whatnot. We throw them into the air and we try to shoot it with shotguns. As a matter of fact, that reminds me of another story. Me and my buddy, way long ago, I used to have a Mosin Nagant, and I remember one time I had my Mosin and he had this shotgun, and it wasn't at this pond, it was at another pond somewhere. I think it might have been at this pond a long time ago, but anyway, that's all speculation. But we had these clay pigeons that we had sitting in the water, and what we would do is we would take the Mosin and we would shoot the water under the clay pigeon, and whenever the water went flying up, the clay pigeon would fly with it, and my buddy would take the shotgun and he would shoot the clay pigeon out of the air whenever it went flying up from the impact of the Mosin round. And that was definitely a really fun, really cool time. I have a lot of history with this shotgun. I know I don't have a whole lot of trigger time on this one compared to my 870, but this right here is definitely something that I do have my fair share of trigger time on. I see the same little P with a crosshair on it that I saw on the Maverick 88. So the barrels on these shotguns should pretty much be the same. I'm pretty sure they're even interchangeable. But that being said, I do like the Mossberg 500, but if I was going to go out and actually buy myself a pump action shotgun, it would probably be the Maverick 88 series. I like the crossbolt safety, and I'm not a big fan of the push button safety. Well, what would you call this? It wouldn't be a push button safety. It'd be like a lever safety. We're just going to call it a lever safety. I'm not a fan of this style of safety, which I'm now calling the lever safety because I feel like it. I definitely prefer the crossbolt style of safety, which is what the 870 has, and that's also what the Maverick has. And the Maverick, I don't plan on customizing my shotgun any, so whatever furniture the Maverick comes with, that's what you get. Unless you want to disassemble the entire thing and swap out physical components other than just the furniture. Well, I don't foresee me doing that if I get myself a pump action shotgun for practicality purposes. I don't foresee me doing that either because I have plenty of firearms as is, and I doubt I'll go out and buy myself another pump shotgun. I might get myself some of the cheapo, like Turkish shotguns on the market just to make videos and reviews about, because those might be fun. Alright, so let's go ahead and send some lead downrange. I have me in this, I think this is number 8 shot. This is just cheapo target loads that you can buy from Walmart. Let's send a few of these downrange. This Mossberg 500 is definitely heavier than the Maverick 88. So let's go ahead and compare recoil between the two. Alright, recoil on this one, not nearly as bad as the Maverick was, which makes sense because this right here is solid wood on this shotgun versus the Maverick 88 that I was running, which was polymer, and it was definitely way lighter weight. I doubt that I would want to carry this one around. I'd probably want to carry around the polymer Maverick 88 as opposed to the wood of the Mossberg 500, but I would rather shoot this one, but I'd rather carry that one. It's ironic how that goes, huh? Of course, I guess it depends on the situation that we're talking about here. If you're in a situation where, now I'm just going off on freaking tangents at this point, but if you're in a situation where you're dealing with like practical purposes and you need a shotgun that you're maybe going to fire 1 or 2 shells out of, maybe you're out deer hunting or something like that, I'd probably take the polymer furniture of the Maverick 88. However, if you are in a situation where maybe you're wanting something for like a defensive purpose shotgun or something like that, then maybe having yourself a heavier shotgun that's going to shove, less recoil into your arm might be the better way to go, especially if you're not planning on wandering around anywhere. I guess it's all speculation on what it is that you're planning on doing. So I just shoved a couple of number 8 shot through this thing. It handled it no problem. This right here is Federal double-aught buck 2 3/4. It says 70 millimeter on it. This here is 9 pellet stuff. Let's go ahead and shove around this through this shotgun and see how it handles. I'm going to go ahead and aim at my steel target out there. We're at about 40 yards. I know with the Maverick 88, man, I was nailing that steel target with these lead pellets, no problem. Let's see how well this one nails that steel target. Oh, dude, it nailed that steel target, no problem. I have no idea what sort of accuracy we're going to get from the Accu choke that is in this thing. It does look like that the choke is removable, and you could probably swap that out for whatever it is that you are wanting to do. I mean, if you want yourself more spread or less spread, get yourself a different choke. So now we have a 1-ounce slug. This is a 2 3/4 maximum high shock slug. So this right here should be 1 ounce, and it should be traveling at around 1,200 to 1,300 feet per second if memory serves me. I'm not positive about that, but I think it's going to be somewhere around there. I'm going to aim for my steel target. I missed my shot with my Maverick 88. Let's see if we make the shot here with my Mossberg. This is not a rifled slug, it's just a regular old slug going downrange. Oh, but we nailed that steel, no problem. Oh, and we nailed my arm, no problem. Next video is going to be 22 long rifle. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Do you have an old shotgun like this that's been in your family for a very long time? See, my father bought this back before I was born, but he bought this and the Remington 870, I think, at the same time. And he did it so he could go duck hunting with his brother. And I don't 100% know all of the stories behind that. I'm not sure how often they went duck hunting. I'm not sure if they even caught any ducks. I'm not sure what the story behind that is. But I know that he bought these specifically for duck hunting. And I mean, this would absolutely get the job done if you're going to go out and do some duck hunting. I do know my father's not a fan of ducks, and he told me that he does not like the taste and the texture of duck. And I'm willing to bet, now that I'm, piecing those two things together in the back of my mind, I'm willing to bet that he probably got that experience from the ducks that he's gathered from this. Anyway, folks, I'm going to keep rambling on about this old shotgun that has been just an absolute joy in my family. I've shot a lot of stuff with this. As a matter of fact, I have an old stove out here that I've shot. I made a video on it a long time ago. It's an older one on the channel. But at my previous house that we were living at, we had an old stove as well. It was an old gas stove. And my father was like, well, we're going to swap out this stove for another one because this old gas stove, 3 of the 4 burners don't work and the oven is very weak. And we just decided to swap it out for another stove. And I was like, hey, can I take that outside and shoot it with a shotgun? And he was like, hell yes, you can. So I took that outside and I shot it with a shotgun. And I'm pretty sure I used this shotgun right here. I know I kind of lean towards the 870, especially nowadays. I just really like my 870. The Mossberg is definitely a good design, but the 870 I have, both of these shotguns are from the 1980s. And I think they're from the 1980s. But my father, whenever he bought that 870, he bought it brand new, and the quality of that 870 compared to like modern 870s, dramatically better. All right, well, I'm gonna be rambling if I keep going on the way that I am. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below, link to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I'll see you all in the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.